Hey. Good evening. It is 7:05 Thursday night live boogie with the bull Dave Globin here with you. We're live on the Dave Globin We're live on the Dave Globin profile. Let's take things slower. We are live on the Dave Globin profile here on Facebook. Actually, we will be live on the Dave Globin profile here on Facebook in a moment if it actually shows up here on Facebook. I'm noticing that Restream takes a little bit longer to get here to Facebook. Last night it pulled the same. All right, come over to the Dave Globin profile on Facebook. You'll see below my profile picture, it says live. Tap that, and I guess that will bring you into the broadcast because for some unknown reason, again, tonight, it's not loading like it's supposed to load. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it later. I'm not going to mess with it. We're using Restream. It's working fine. So come over to the Dave Globin profile. Like I said, you'll see my profile picture. Under my profile picture, it says live. Press that. That will bring you into the live chat. We'll just have to keep playing with this and trying to figure it out. We did it last night, and it took a whole bunch of minutes. We'll have to figure out what the problem is. Anyway, we're live on my profile. We're live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Live chats are open. If you wish, please come and join us. I hope you will. And we'll get started. What is new and exciting in people's lives is the question of the night. Donald Trump was on Gutfeld last night on Fox. If you didn't get a chance to see it, it was posted in our groups here on Facebook, and you should go watch that. I understand it was pretty funny. He actually appeared to be in a pretty good mood, considering for a man who's been shot at twice in the last month or so. And he joked about it. He did say that the Secret Service did a fantastic job, really did a good job. I still think he needs more Secret Service protection. I think he needs more protection. I don't know if he needs to hire his own people or increase the number of people that he has. But that's just to be told. I'm going to deal with this technical issue because it is really bothering me. So we'll keep doing the broadcast. Hopefully, let me just figure this out. I don't know what the problem with. There it is. Well, William Grant is watching, so that means it must be doing something right. Did it finally show up? No, it hasn't shown up. I'm not seeing it on my profile. On my profile. I don't know. We'll just do it like we did last night. We'll go in that way. If you don't see it on my profile, hit my profile picture and it will bring you into it. I don't know what is going on with it. Craig, I see you, Craig. I see you're here. Unfortunately, Craig, what I'm saying is I don't see it on my profile when I'm watching it on Facebook to monitor the live chat. I don't see it. There, no, I don't see it. No. But that's how they did it yesterday, and then everything came up fine. But anyway, good evening, William Grant. Good evening, Craig Peterson. Thursday Night Live, Jay Clark is watching also. Good evening, Jay. And like I said, the question of the night, what is new and exciting in people's lives? What do people want to discuss tonight? Jen Woodruff was going to be with us, but at the last minute had a family emergency and could not be with us. Michael Anthony may stop by a little bit later, I hope. Anybody else that is out there and watching it might want to come on and help save the broadcast by having a guest, feel free to come in, and we can do that. David Bray sent me a meme just before I went live that said, imagine the phone company canceling your service because they didn't like what you and your friends talked about. That's what Facebook is doing today. He's 100% right. If they don't like what you say, they block you. They Don't put your live broadcast on your profile so you can watch it and see it like everybody else can. I'm looking at my profile and it is not listed there, which is really weird because, like I said, if you look at my profile picture has a live icon on it. And if you tap that, it brings you in to watch. How long after the market crashes? Well, when the market crashes, it's probably all said and done for. Michael Anthony is on his way here. He's coming in momentarily. And my messenger is going crazy. And I apologize for that. But I think the market needs to crash. I don't know what that means other than maybe the market crashes. We get rid of the Fed. And we come back with the United States Treasury controlling the money. And the United States Treasury working on getting money into the cash supply. We don't deal with the Fed anymore. We get rid of the Fed. We just look at the Fed and say, hey, no, we owe you all this money for old wars and this, that, and the other crap. And hey, you know what? No, we're not paying it back. Take the Fed out of business, remove the Fed from banking, and just go back to being a country that has a treasury that has cash and watches it and keeps an eye on it and makes sure that there's always enough cash in the world to spend. That your banks have cash. When you want cash, you go to your bank and you take out cash. If you've got a credit card, great. Use your cash. I don't really know what happens, Jay. I'm not the person to speak about what happens to your 401k because I don't really understand it. But if you work for a company and you have $1 million in your 401k and that company goes bankrupt, the way I understand it, they get to take your 401k, the money that's in it. I may be wrong, but it sounds like that's what they get to do. It's their money. So maybe your company, if your company has a 401k, it can't be in your company's bank account. There has to be somebody who manages it separately from outside of your company. The Fed needs to go. Yeah, the Fed does need to go, but I don't think cash is coming back. Well, I think cash should come back for those who want cash. Okay? I mean, if you want cash, then you should have a right to have cash in your pocket. And you should have a right to spend cash. If you want plastic, meaning credit cards, then yeah, if you're responsible enough and you pay your bills on time, you should have a wallet full of plastic if that's what you want. To me, for the longest time, a debit card was like having cash. A bank debit card was like having cash. When I ran out of money in my account, I couldn't spend it. Unfortunately, credit cards are different. When you don't run out of money until you hit a high limit. It could be $400, $500, $700. It could be $1,000. It could be more than $1,000. You got to spend that money, but then you got to pay it back. Cash or a debit card works off the cash in your account. You can overdraft your account after you spent all your cash, but you can't use your bank account because your bank account's locked until you pay the overdraft. But realistically, we are a cash and carry society and always have been, and I think we need to keep being a cash and carry society for those who want to carry cash. The digital currency, I don't see the point of it, Craig, but Trump says they have a plan for a new digital currency that is not controlled by the central banking system. Personally, like cash, well, cash is cash. It isn't It isn't having a debit card. It isn't having something that, even though it's not controlled by the central banking system, the Fed, it's going to be controlled by somebody within the government. And I just disagree that, they should have a right to, they shouldn't have any access to it. It should be separate. It should actually be separate. So if you want a digital currency card that's backed by the government and operated by the Treasury, I guess it's the same thing. But realistic to me, I'd rather still have all my money go into my checking account, and I use my debit card like a checkbook, like a check. And when I run out of money, I'm done. I don't have any money to spend. But the thing that scares me about a digital currency, a card that somehow the government is going to have control in, is that all of a sudden they will start doing what they're not allowed to do. And I don't know if President Trump will be allowed to stop that. I just don't have any faith in a piece of plastic that the government is watching and is somehow going to end up with control over. Michael Anthony done broadcasting 10 o'clock talks. America Disclosing Uncensored, a whole lot of interesting things. How are you, Michael?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, loud and clear, man. You're giving everybody the rule of thumb of Bitcoin and all that good stuff. It's all fake money anyway, Dave. Think about it.
I guess Bitcoin was good, but it sounds to me, it's fake money. If you took, say, $5,000 and you buy a Bitcoin, and next week it's worth $50,000. And then didn't they recently have something like a $2 trillion devalue?
Yeah, it was big. It was
basically took your $50,000 Bitcoin and probably made it 5 cents.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. You know what? I don't follow a lot because it was too ups and downs, too much of not knowing. I mean, realistically, it was like the stock market being played with and toyed with in the same way that we saw that crashing several times. But, it's like the credit cards you were saying. I mean, you can go and use anything you want, but what they're doing is they're giving you a number that doesn't exist. The money's not even there. They're just using paperwork to make it look like it was all usable, fundable, and we can charge you absorbent interest rates on the money that we never even had.
Right. It's just crazy. 28%, 30%.
Yeah, it really is crazy. It's astronomical. I don't know how people are dealing with it. I know I have things, but I don't use them, Dave. I truly don't. I mean, I'm like, if I have the cash, I mean, one way or another, you're gonna have to pay for it. Right. So one way or another, learn to live without them.
Well, that's why I was saying at the beginning, my debit card for many years at a bank worked like a credit card. I whip out my debit card, they get a hold of my bank, they get money back from my bank. However, when they get them, eventually they get paid for whatever it is I buy. My bank keeps track of what is in there. I keep track of what's in there. And say you start out with $1,000, when you got zero available on your debit card, that's, you're out. You can't, you can overdraft, but you don't want to overdraft because you pay, I don't know. You take $500 plus $30 for the overdraft fee. It's $530, and your bank account is shut down until you pay it back. And if you can't pay it back at the beginning of the next month or the next week when you get your next paycheck, you're screwed. I think. Did I lose you, Michael? Hold on.
The screen flashed.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, but the screen flashed. There's nothing there to see anyway. It's fine. But yeah, it's just like having a call-in. And 401s, the minute the stock market, goes in hiatus, which it's done also, the 401s crash. There was a comment in your comments about, and what about 401ks? Yeah, what
Yeah.
about them? It's almost like they don't even exist anymore. And we saw that from the point and fact of time of 9/11, 2001. Look what happened then. Look at how everybody suffered through it. They lost half the values. And here's the most incredible thing, Dave. I mean, really, with all that's going on, all the pressure, all the leadership forcing compliances on all the companies, do you think that these brokers don't know where and what to invest in? Because they do. But you know what? They doing things and act with ill normalities and
Yep.
in a way to where it seems like whatever money you had there will only generate enough for them to take theirs, but you never have a gain. So your capital
Yeah.
gains over the long run diminish as well. And that's what we seem to be in. And nobody's going to tell me that these brokers and all this insider information that's floating out there, that these people don't know to invest into technology and these and brick and mortar companies, things that are flourishing, yet they go and they put it in bubblegum music. They invest into things that are like, gonna that have more of a chance of failing than anything else you could imagine. And that is the saddest
Like you
part.
said, that's like you said. They invest 2 trillion of your dollars, everybody's dollars, into Taylor Swift, and then she loses 150, 125 million dollars for endorsing.
Yeah, well, see, I seen that that's out there, but I haven't been able to tie any factual content to that.
I I
I
haven't
haven't.
I haven't found anything that's factual, and I read it every day in the Facebook news feed. But most people don't know that Facebook terminated the contracts, the renewal contracts for all the legitimate, or what I would call legitimate, like Newsmax and all the other real news agencies that were in the Facebook news feed. They terminated that because they didn't want to pay them anymore. So they hired all these bogus ones like I love Princess. I love this one. I love Prince. I love Diana. Or love Diana is one of them, and all they do is post about how Robert the Zero is so angry with the United States that he's leaving.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time
And then
again.
you got
Everybody's
another one.
going to run.
Yeah, another one that says uh, John Elway is not allowing people, any of his players to take a knee will get booted. Well, he said something to that effect 4 or 5 years ago, and whether or not it ever happened, I don't know. Then there's pictures of Robert Kraft, the Patriots owner, with the same kind of thing. But back to everybody and their money. It's just like I got to
Yeah.
imagine that your company starts a 401k, puts your money in there, matches it, and then what do? They call up BlackRock and say, "Hey, we've got $2 million sitting in an IRA that has to fund 50 people's retirements. What can you do with it?" And they say, "Well, we just bought Ancestry.com. We'll put it in there."
Well, yeah, they want you to believe that. Well, they take that money that is coming through um, from the people that are investing into the stock market, and then they make it vanish. They come up with fraudulent numbers and stuff that aren't even real. And what they're doing is they're just clocking the country by stealing money off them right in front of our faces, right in front of the public. And I really do expect Donald Trump to talk a little bit more about that fraud that does exist that's going on there. And just to say something to you also, I'll bet, like when you said people are going to leave the country, I bet every one of them got a suitcase packed right now.
They
I'll
do,
bet
but
every one of them got an
they
emergency
do.
suitcase packed.
They do, but where's Whoopi
No,
Goldberg
we
going?
don't know that they do, but yeah,
Well,
go
I mean,
ahead.
even if they don't, where is Whoopi Goldberg? Someone who's in her near 70s. Where's Whoopi gonna go in the world that's going to take her and give her a job like she has on The View and pay her and not tax the shit out of her. I mean, if she went to England and got a job on the BBC, their income tax is even higher than ours. That's why all of them rock stars and wealthy people become naturalized dual citizens and move all their business here to the United States.
Yeah, well, when they take that plane, their exit strategy is exit stage right. They're gonna hide because they will have no choice. They're not going to go into the public because they will be able to be gotten to. They're going to hide. No, there's no doubt about it. When you talk about Whoopi, she still has not paid Rittenhouse's money and refuses to. And there are there's a lot of money involved here, and there's not just that case. Yes, there's it's not even just that case. There's plenty of other cases where there are awardings of money and these people are not giving it up, and now it's going to what's called a claims division court, who will now investigate what they actually have, where their investments are, and then start taking it, and sheriffs selling off any of the properties and stuff to create restitution back to the people that won these cases. And that doesn't just take a minute. That takes years to do as well. But I just don't see these people running off and going to the BBC to work and be right in the public eye. I just don't see it.
I can't see De Niro leaving anyway. I mean, he's got a baby, just had got a young baby again. I can't, he's got restaurants in New York. Whether they're making any money for him, I can't tell. But I mean, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? I mean, that's just my point. Putin,
Zuckerberg Island,
Epstein Island, Disney Island.
Well, they have them. They have these bunkers. They have everything. Who knows?
Well, maybe they'll move her into Gitmo.
Excuse me.
Maybe they'll put her in Gitmo Estates, living next to Elvis.
Yeah, and I would love to see some of that go down. I mean, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I would love to see it.
The question I was going to throw at you was, I don't know if ABC has a financial stake in The View, or if it's another production company that, just sells it to buys the slot and sells it to ABC. Can Rittenhouse eventually be able to go after ABC? Can he go after the production company, the shareholders, could you have
shareholders and presidents of corporations can now be held liable? Because when you go to get your power, say you open up a business like here in Pittsburgh or in Florida, and you're under a corporation name. Let's just say it's a bar. So you have an LLC, you have a bar, you come up with a corporate name, a corporate identity. When you go to sign on for your electric bill, they can ask you for an astronomical down payment, that gives them a bridge in case you go bad. The bridge over the banks, so the covered waters, where the cash flows amongst the banks. And what they do is they hold that, and any other remaining unpaid debt to them, they could go after the president, because now he has to sign special documentation. That started happening about 15, 20 years ago that they did that. It was with the water company, the gas company, and the electric company. So they were all doing it. And so they want to hold someone liable. But when you get to the point of who owns these places, all right, so you have sister corporations, subsidiary corporations that are all connected, and they come up with fictitious names. They really don't live as an entity, just a piece of paper. And by the time you get through 15 corporations to find out who the main member of the chain gang is, you will find out it is State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, and there are two above that I don't talk about.
Yeah, well,
that's where the money's at.
Fidelity, I think, there's State Street. I know BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street are the big three. Then Fidelity is heavily invested, I think, in some Vanguard and some Vanguard stuff that Vanguard actually is invested in BlackRock in. So it's like everybody must have a piece of everybody's money.
Well, BlackRock would stand at the top of all of them. But
Yeah.
again, the way they hide things, and they're very good at what they do, it takes a while to get to it. But I think because of the time that has passed, we know how to get around a majority of it. We know who the liability holders are. We know who the characters that are collecting the stakes of all the money. The ones eating the filet mignon and the giant lobster tails in Vegas, probably monthly, dining out in places we dream of. They have it. They have it. They know how to get to it. But the problem is, it takes a matter of time even to get to those people because there's a court system here. And right now we have an injustice system that's protecting the system and, trampling on the justice system. So they're getting their way. And it's going to take Trump to come in and his leadership and for him to be very creative with the Kennedy friend that he has up there and Vance, whatever's going on there. I have a theory behind all that. I don't know which one's going to actually make it to the finish line with Trump.
Do you have any more information on that? I mean, that topic,
no, but
that
just
conversation fascinates me. I know when we first had it that I kind of just said, nah, it's not going to work. That, he can't boot out. I mean, he can boot out Vance if he wanted to, but he can't take Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He can't take an independent and make him his vice president. And then, you kept saying, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. And for the next week, that's all I did was think about it. And only Trump could pull off getting elected as a Republican, having a vice president who's an independent, who takes over as Senate president as an independent, and can be able to use that independency to mesh Republicans and Democrats together in the Senate for the first time in history. And now I'm sure no one's going to watch a Boogie with the Bull broadcast again because I just talk smack as far as every conservative on Facebook is concerned. But, that's what I do anyway.
Not really. Not really. We're trying to be objective and we're trying to think of the scenarios of protection and why things like that could be possible to happen. And I think it goes back again to protect the steal from occurring. How much time is on the line if something like this is to happen? I don't know all those facts. I really don't. But I will say this. I got a pretty substantial amount of mail saying, wow, if Trump were to do that and there was anything going on behind the scenes shady, like in the 2020 election, this would blow them out of the park. They would get caught so far off guard with it, it would destroy a majority of any of their planning, and we would be able to remove all the disruption without having to touch it. But I do understand that they just actually started printing some of these mail-in ballots and so forth. And but we learned prior to 2020 when we thought they were preparing the ballots to be distributed, there were actually tons of them sitting in the post office already ready. Yeah. So we have federal problems, state problems, and more. And I don't know because the Postal Service themselves have their own postal police. They're not going to condemn their own workers. They're going to protect their own workers. And who can we trust in the 3 or 4 letter law enforcement agencies that maybe just like focusing on a point to interact with these people and to check these warehouses and see what really does exist within them? Because they might be hoarding something we don't know about. They could have, well, they're in charge. They have every capability of getting something done before we can. Just because the media says it's happening, we all know that ain't factually true. That's just a mind game. That's mind bending people on a narrative. And that's why we have so many people lost saying, well, Trump's an asshole. Well, he's my asshole. And that's just the way it is. But the point is, some people were still in that position, caught thinking. And I hear it when on this political monopoly that they're using, where, the politicians use to advertise what they want to do for the world. and we have one of the biggest war scandals going on in the country, where we have two states trying to, lock Trump up. We have Florida on one hand, we have the British Columbia doing it on the other hand, going after and his attacks and so forth. So who do we trust to go in to really say, let's sweep these places and make sure they're clean and their hands are clean from no election interferences? Who do we have? Who can we trust? Pretty much nobody. And that's why I think this is possible, and it could very possibly happen.
It very well could. Craig Peterson asked, what have you guys heard about the power going out over the entire USA for a few weeks, sometime very soon? I think we've all, Jerry Michaels, you, me, Randy Rhodes may have touched it on it. I'm sure Jen Woodruff probably has, because she's one of the most intelligent broadcasters I know. Everybody seems to think that if Kamala wins, there's going to be like a shutdown of the internet. Maybe the national grid is going to shut down. I don't know if it's just shut down to figure it all out and maybe figure out how they're going to limit power to certain areas at certain times or certain days, or, California may get electricity on Monday and Florida might get it on Tuesday and somebody else will get it Monday. Greg said, election. I'm still, sorry I cut you off. I'm still of the belief, and I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, I have a firm belief that Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. is going to do something before November 5th that suspends the election. And I don't know if he's going to do it because he doesn't want Kamala to get elected, or he doesn't want Trump to get elected, or maybe he just thinks he's still the president. Maybe he's gonna stand in front of the cameras and say the dementia has just been bullshit, and I've been working with everybody behind the scenes, all the three-letter agencies, and Obama is going down, and Harris is going down, and Clinton is going down, but I still
you're thinking exactly the way they want you to think.
Okay.
No, really, you really are, and that's what everybody else is doing, the same thing. So we're actively playing within the shit show of a shit show. Okay. So here, first off, we have a report that was out in 2019 where supposedly Biden's daughter, the one that was in the rehabilitation center for narcotics and more, left a pamphlet there, a diary, so to speak. Yeah. And in it, it said that her father was dead. Okay. And then we have scenarios of where people are pushing. We have the three masked men, Jim Carrey and this guy and that guy and Julia Roberts' his brother. These are people or candidates of the ones that are supposedly just playing the part. And then the final one would be Joe's own brother, which I don't believe is him by any means whatsoever. It doesn't fit the physical frame of the same person. It doesn't do it. But then you have the masked men, you have the death story, then you have the Gitmo that everybody's already been taken, that Trump has, the White Hats have somebody in there, and they're all following suit on the instruction. I mean, talk about the biggest shit show fantasy in the world. I mean, I think what we have here is actual criminals at work, and we're watching them. I would say, and I will say, that I do believe some actions have been taken and possibly kept quiet due to the severity and circumstances of the cases. And there are laws that say you cannot speak about things if there are no disclosures. So attorneys are keeping their mouths shut. They're trying to protect the criminals as a possibility. You have all that. And that construct in itself says that we have more of a reality of physical people, criminalities there. And I think they're just collecting the data on them. Now, this 10-day blackout, which I'm going to call, when I said a long time ago, the 30 days of darkness will be the darkest up until November 5th. 2024. So if you start to take into the accountability October 5th to November, you can or could possibly seem, and that would be a time frame. But that time frame only existed when the solar flares were actually the problem that was short circuiting the power grids
Yeah.
that was happening. And we saw them happening in certain countries. But there were also certain countries testing new power grids, and it was taking them 12 hours to get the power, the 24 hours to get the powers put back up.
Yeah.
So again, did anybody really do their homework, or is everybody going with the big Q drop? And what is the Q drop if you really think about it?
That's why you can probably go with the big dewdrop, but that's why you're here tonight.
Well, no, and I'm not a know-it-all, but everywhere I looked, there was answers to what was going on.
Right.
And solar flares will disrupt, but our skies are clear right now. We're not having any of those issues. So if anything is created, it's going to be by man-made. It's not going to be by a substance of something else that could cause havoc on our grid, our satellites, and so forth like that. So what's to come? It's pretty hard to say, but I would say if it comes, it's going to come by what's left out there that hasn't been cleaned up, that wasn't cleaned up while Trump was president. And they have rebuilt themselves over the past 4 years. So how far are they? And how far advanced are they? Well, just look what they did across the entirety of the world with global climate. Look what they did on lockdowns. Look what they did on firing people and mandates. I mean, does anybody not get this answer that they are truly still there and they have rebuilt? Look at all the towers that they put up, that they radiate. Check this out. The radiation that they vibrate into the atmosphere takes place, get this, Dave, from 9:11 p.m. until 9:11 a.m. every day of the week. And guess who turns the switches on? Our own military. The same ones that started initiating all the spray that is now going to remote control planes and drones that are using the fire sticks to start, that are starting up the skies with the lines and
Those
you know
towers, frequencies, and if you took the arm candy like I did, there's a good shot that they're in your brain, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, that's what the radiation. That's what the radio waves are about.
Yep.
They interfere with people.
Yep.
They do interfere with people, and not everybody got bad shots. Thank God for that for yourself. Some people got the, just
I think I got
placebo.
I think I got the placebo because the only thing I can tell you is after that shot, after the one-shot Johnson & Johnson and the one-shot booster were out of my system and not protecting me any longer, I got Omicron, and all I can tell you is it was the worst flu bug I think I've ever had, but I lived through it.
And that's basically, I think, what they were doing. There were some that were just saline, placebo, vitamin, and then there were some that were just a very, very powerful flu vaccination, and that's all they were. And how did they? And they meant.
I believe for a moment that Joe and Kamala took an actual
No, hell no, they didn't.
I don't know about President Trump other than we don't know what was put in the syringe that he got his shot from.
Yeah, right. Well, he admits taking a shot, and he said it wasn't so bad, and he tried to promote it, and he got almost booed off stage. People didn't like it, and then he learned never to open his mouth up about it again. He quit talking about Warp Speed.
He ended up getting it anyway.
Well, that is said to be said that he did. I don't know that he did. I'm assuming that what we learned from the press releases and so forth from the White House, that was factually true. We saw that he left.
It was an Army hospital, so we don't know what actually came out of there, what actually happened when the cameras were turned off. So yeah, you're right. 4 hours later,
he was in his limousine riding around waving at people that were outside in support of him, and then he went back in the hospital.
Right.
So, I mean, we've seen a lot, and we're stuck having to judge a lot. And we're stuck to come to our own conclusions of possibilities because what we do see, what we hear, what we've witnessed, you don't have one assassination attempt, but you have what looks to be a true second attempt. And we know they want to cause them harm. I've said it for a long time.
Right.
Everybody else is,
And this
also right on stage saying, I called that too. Yeah.
the second one just sounds effing crazy because it sounds like they're saying there is no wall around the Trump golf course there. It's just shrubbery. And they're saying that
shrubbery and trees.
This guy got into the shrubs at somewhere between midnight and 2 a.m. and he just laid there waiting. And the only thing I can figure is he laid there waiting for his chance to possibly take the shot, but someone had to tell him. Someone had to know he was there.
Well, that's part of the point.
He was going to be going there.
Yeah, you know what? I know paranormal teams.
He said on Gutfeld last night, I had no plans to play golf. It was just all of a sudden, let's go play golf.
Yeah, I know. Pretty amazing, huh? And if you really look at the power of the Secret Service, it's a shame if I could send a paranormal team in there would be able to pick up a mouse running across the field or somebody breathing with paranormal equipment, and yet the sophistication of the Secret Service wasn't walking the perimeter, wasn't patrolling the perimeter, and wasn't using technology to read it to make sure that there were no noises, the parabolic microphones. They weren't looking for any heat signatures. Are you freaking kidding me?
And no disrespect at all, but your friend Eric probably could have been sitting there talking to the time travelers that were flying all over there at the same time.
Which friend Eric? I'm sorry.
Eric the Healer.
Oh, Eric the Healer. Yeah. We all
wish I could get when I get around to finally doing the "Where the fuck are they? I thought you were dead" broadcast. I would give anything. I would even forego having the opportunity to meet Donald Trump to have Eric the Healer on that broadcast.
Yeah, well, we're all looking. We're all doing our best to come up with intelligent thought that gives us balance and center to understand what we are dealing with.
Yep.
And sometimes it gets a little confusing by what one person thinks versus another person thinks versus their reality versus my reality, your reality, someone else's reality. And there's some differences a little bit. We need to take those up, digest them, and try to, come out with an answer. We might not get any further. We might not get a remedy to the answer. But all I know is when I see things just suddenly going out there, I don't know if it's something else is going on or not. I don't think Trump needs to create anything to create strength any more than he has. I think the world is behind him, not just America. The damn world is behind him, and everybody is suffering through it. Everything within humanity that breathes, walks, talks, and has to function is behind this man. They want to see their countries come back to a matter of normalcy, and we're going to have to go back into facing a lot of abnormalcies. So, you have these scenarios, and the best thing we can do is just try to focus on what we can do. And what is it that we can do? Well, of course, go and vote in person, stay strong, keep your love for your family, keep your health conscious in mind, because, these people, while all this is going on, they're poisoning us. They're taking the vitamins and minerals out of all the vegetables. Right now, we are going through a drought in Pennsylvania. These poor corn farmers where every year people would stop at these stands and pick up the best sweet corn that you could purchase. I mean, every area has that kind of vibration and good farmers. Everywhere the water was either shut off, it's in drought. The corn is dead on the stalks. The craziest part about it, you have perfectly green stalks and they're growing vibrantly, but the corn is dead. The drought that they put upon it has killed all the production of what they worked for. And these farmers invest $500,000 to plant these fields, sometimes $1 million.
Yep.
But you have a leadership in this country. It says you're no longer allowed to do that. You're no longer allowed to do this. They're restricting this. The birds got the flu, killed them. The cows got mad cow disease, killed them. The cows are farting, killed them. I mean, it doesn't matter. Turkeys a shortage. Turkeys are a shortage. Chickens are a shortage. Eggs went back up to $4.39 in Pennsylvania for the past couple of weeks. Now we're starting to see since Carmelaville, and she's coming back. There's something fascinating about Pittsburgh that she's coming back to.
Like I read that today.
Yeah, she's coming back. And that's because this is going to be one of the gems. This is going to be one of the hideouts for these elites. When the shit hits the fan, they have made preparations all around this city to hide them. And I'm just saying, I'm not wrong on this, but it's going to be places like Chicago, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Michigan, and so on and so forth. So they could probably got a good 8 spots to run and hide into in case they need to, in case, like what you're saying, that Missile Joe would come up with some type of system and put us under a martial law or something. But I want you to also think, we might have been operating under a martial law for longer than what everybody thinks they really know, going by the fact that we had a corporation that went bankrupt, and then in a recreation on between March 8th and 10th of, I want to say, I hope I'm right on this, 1981, there was a new resolution under a new written constitution. And that would make Trump president 19. So that formality is still out there, also vibing of another possibility that the White Hats ingeniously designed with President Trump. And, Trump was being, in a way, taught and conditioned to take on this role at some point, and he took it on, and he came through with flying colors. He won. But he never had a great leadership, even though he had great success as a leader in leadership, because he was attacked from day one. He was attacked before day one of his presidency. They were going after him like cats and dogs to protect Hillary Clinton. And she still can't come to grips with the fact that she lost. And when Trump said that he used this own system, makes me wonder a little bit more about how he knew everything that he knew that was going to happen in 2020 and why they were ready for it and why they surveilled it all happening. Because he just didn't go to bed, but he made it sound like he went to bed and thought he was going to wake up. It was a shoo-in, but he lost. There's more to that story, and I hope that is some part in the future gets clarity and transparency and hits the history book. Because I really think what we are dealing with, Dave, is an object of two different sides of the aisle, but not just from the aisle. We're talking about the representation from beyond the aisles, the controllers of the aisles, which are the black hats and the white hats.
Yep. I read that Kamala's husband, Emhoff, was here in Florida recently, and they think they can take Florida in the election.
Carmela thinks that.
Yeah, Carmela.
Really? Yeah. That was her. That was
Kamala's staff evidently thinks that she can take Florida. Her husband, I guess they were here for a rally or a fundraiser or something, and they got a bigger turnout than they expected, and now they believe that they will be able to carry Florida. And I can't see how that could happen.
Well, here's the thing on some of what that is. Certain cultures actually adopted into transgenderism a lot earlier than we were ever willing to accept it as a normalcy. It was already within it, like in China. If you go back and you look at, hey, look, I don't want to be sounding like some freak. Go look at the porn industry and see what the highest ratio numbers in money-making films were. It had to do with that industry. And it was, it was in Cuba, it was in Latin America, it was in China, it was all over China and Japan.
Yeah.
So when you talk about Chinatown, Pelosi's little venue in California, I mean, it's full of nothing but prostitution, transgenderism prostitution.
Yep.
It's the number one key element, the most money made. There is a fascination going on in this country and has been. These people were just not out having swing fest, swinger parties, and things. These people were living that lifestyle, and that's why it became so strong. So in some cases, they are going to have strength coming from within these communities. I have a scenario in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, downtown Pittsburgh, a hairdresser, a gay hairdresser, owner of a parlor that welcomed President Biden and his wife in, and they showed up. And when they showed up, downtown city of Pittsburgh went nuts with all the gayism and all the left side, right side, slap me here, slap me there, suck this, suck that, showed up. And believe me, it didn't look like it should have been like 20 people, plus the people posing for pictures. And Joe did pose for pictures with this guy. Okay. I grew up with this kid and his family. A majority of the family were all that way or junkies.
Yeah.
But he was a successful kid, minded his own business, but now he's taken a political liking to where they're going with things, and he's very politically active. And what I noticed from that is where the strength lies, and when the communication is gotten to these certain people, the numbers do increase for them when they show up. Because if they weren't to talk about it and weren't to do it and weren't to reach out to these people, when they walk into a room, nobody would even know they were there.
Yep.
When Trump walks into a room, the whole crowd lights up. So all I'm saying is they have built a crowd. And this is not a new crowd. This is an old crowd. These are people coming out of the closet, and we have a president and a vice president that can't stand each other, truly can't stand each other. And if you go back into the debate,
he wanted nothing to do with her. She wanted nothing to do with him.
Exactly. But they have to work together when the big guy gives the order. And that's why she hid. Yeah. That's why you couldn't find her. That's why the border stayed as it was.
I'm still trying to figure out. They hated each other. Then all of a sudden she's out of money. She can't keep her campaign going. And then the next thing you know, she's his running mate. I mean, no one's explained that to me. I want to know. I mean, Obama must have cut her a sweetheart deal. Hillary Clinton must have said, do this or else. And Kamala did it. I just don't get it. Anyway, I want to read something. Suzanne Day, a good friend of mine, who doesn't always agree with everything I say or anything anybody else says that she partly disagrees with your speaker about Trump. He's a leader and got better as the years went by. Now he's a pro. I'm just relaying what Suzanne had to say. Still there? Did I lose you? Oh, come on. Did it burp Michael again? Hold on. You got burped again. No, you got burped again. I don't know how, but you did get burped again.
Oh, that's all right. So listen, I was hearing, and I don't know how true this is because it hasn't happened to me. What did happen to me was
it kicked you out again. Hold on. Oh, we lost Michael. Oh, we lost Michael. Michael, come back in again. I don't know what happened. I watched it. I saw it. You did get kicked off. I don't know what happened. Try and get back in if you can. I'm not sure exactly what happened. We're still getting used to Restream, having a few hiccups here and there as we try to get it perfected. So, Michael, if you're still out there, pop back in. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. So we'll wait and see if Michael gets back in. If he does, he does. And Whoops. If he does, we will keep going. Hang on for just a second, folks. I have to step back for just a second to reach for something that I should have had on my desk when I sat down to do the broadcast. So I apologize. I'm back. We'll wait and see if Michael comes back. If not, we'll keep the live chat going for a little bit. I apologize, Suzanne, that Michael got bumped and wasn't here to answer, but we'll wait and see if we can get him back. Sometimes things happen. We are using Restream. We had StreamYard. We decided to leave StreamYard over the $45 increase, which we can't afford to do. Hang on just a second. Okay. Little dementia cocktail right there. But let's see. So we're hearing all kinds of stuff, folks. That's where we were starting to go. I did read, like I said to Michael, there seems to be something that Kamala's husband, Doug Emhoff, seems to believe that they can take Florida. I don't know why. I mean, it's Trump's home state. I would be very surprised if they could grab Trump's home state. You know, do I imagine that Trump could take California away from Kamala? Nah, probably not. But her coming out here to Florida and taking Florida away from Trump would surprise me. Very seriously would surprise me. It won't. She won't get it from me because I'm not voting for Kamala. So we'll keep the live chat going, and I apologize. Like I said, I apologize for the hiccups that we're having. I just happened to look up and Michael was gone. If he is able to connect back in, we'll get him back in. I'm waiting to see if he gets back in. Does not look like he is going to get back in, but if he can, he will. And if not, watch the broadcast from the beginning once when Michael came in, and a lot of interesting, good stuff. Randy Rhodes is there. I see Randy. And I'm doing okay, Randy. How are you doing today? We may have lost Michael. Let me see. Randy, are you ready to go? You ready to rock and roll? If I send you a link, and we'll do the remaining. Well, Michael says no. I don't see. I think we lost Michael, but what we'll do is, Randy, if you're ready to rock and roll, I'll send you a link, and we'll do the last 20 minutes or so together, if you wish. I've had gout in one leg, and I'm suffering really bad. Okay, no, we won't send you the link then. But sometimes we fall apart. Sometimes we get through the whole thing. It's just a kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But like I said, I'm still learning and getting comfortable with Restream. I'm very happy with it. But all of a sudden, I looked up and Michael was gone. We did have a couple of hiccups where we lost Michael through the broadcast, but we know that is most likely not Restream. It's other forces that be that we won't name. But like everybody tells you, you have to look at what is going on. You have to look at what is going on in your state. Oh, now Randy told me to send him a link. So hang on just a second. Let me get back in here and get down here. And let me see. Okay. All right, Randy, you got the link. If you want to pop in, you're more than welcome. Give me a second. I'll pay attention at the screen. And when I get to number 2, I'll bring you in. That's what's weird about this. Okay, I see. I can do that and wait and see. As soon as Randy Rhodes gets in here, we'll bring Randy Rhodes in. I apologize. Like I said, some nights it's just spot on and everything's perfect, and some nights we get a little loose with the technology, or it takes a mind of its own. Uh, as I said, we're using Restream. I'm very happy with it. Pretty much the same as the $25 package that StreamYard had, but nobody cares about any of that stuff. But we're using Restream, and I'm still getting used to getting it on and keeping us on the air. So Jane O'Malley says prayers for Randy. Randy, if you want, you got a couple of minutes to try to get in. If you can't get in, then I understand. If you can't get in, then we will carry on. Otherwise, sometimes you just have to drop back and punt and do what you're going to do. There will be a rare Saturday morning boogie with the Bull. Actually, set ready to go. 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll have things to talk about. I don't know if anyone will be with me or not, but I will try to arrange for that throughout the day tomorrow. Don't miss 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Red Friday Morning Caffeine with Bill Muckler and I. We will share Bill's commentary on the week's worth of happenings between Kamala and President Trump, as well as what else is going on in our world. And we'll try to take any questions, comments, suggestions you might have as we go through. That's 10 o'clock tomorrow morning here on Facebook, Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And I see Mama D. Denise is in the live chat. Randy just got here. Just a second. Wait a minute. There. Randy Rhodes has just gotten here. Well, I don't have your mic, Randy. Turn your mic on. Turn your mic on. I don't have mic. Michael is here also, so hang on just a moment. Let me, no. Michael, I don't see you. I have Randy. Randy's here. Michael, we may have lost you again. Try back one more time if you want, and if you can, get in, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, Randy, did you turn your microphone on? I can't hear you. I cannot hear you, Randy. I don't have you muted, so nope. I don't know what to tell you. A little bit of technology guffaw tonight. I'm not sure what's going on. Randy, I can't turn I have no control over your camera or your microphone. I cannot hear you. Good evening, Mama D. I see you in the live chat on my profile. I see Jane O'Malley is watching. William Grant is back and watching. Suzanne Day stopped in with comments, and I'm glad because not everybody has to agree with everything I say or everything that a guest says. You're allowed to disagree and state your case. Craig Peterson is here watching. Jane O'Malley is here watching. Jay Clark. Robin Brunson is in there. I didn't notice Robin. And I don't know what to tell you, Randy. I don't have any audio from you. I have no audio from you. My audio on this end is usually blowing out my whatever. I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this up for tonight. I apologize for the technical snafus that have come in. There were a couple of hiccups where Michael got disconnected. I don't know if that was weather in Pittsburgh or other forces at work, and he may not have been able to get back in. Randy came on and couldn't get his audio, so I don't know. Maybe the powers that be were not making sure everything works. As far as Facebook goes, for the last couple of days, I have not been able to watch the broadcast. Well, I can now. It finally all of a sudden showed up on my Facebook profile. It was not there for about the first half of the broadcast, so I apologize for that. It seems that what happens is we go live, and it takes an incredibly long period of time to get it so that I can watch it on my profile while everybody else is actually watching it. So I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to Restream and try to figure out what that problem is. But let's just do this. We'll call it 8:11, and we'll apologize that just kind of didn't go off as well as it should have. Well, let's see. Right now, let's see. Randy's back, so let's see if we can get Randy.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. I can hear you now.
Hey.
Verizon commercial. I can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
So let's see. Today is Thursday. Did you do a 12 noon with?
We did.
How was it? I missed it, unfortunately. I think I was asleep with my eyes open.
Well, we talked about voices in the dark. We talked about Putin. We talked about UFOs. A couple of different things. We never got around to talking politics or actual news. She got there a little late, not too bad.
Yeah.
But that was an hour just talking, having some fun.
Good.
We're still trying to finagle the format. I tried to bring in some politics, and that didn't work out too well. She wanted to talk about some other stuff.
Okay.
So it's her show, so I'll let her do the lead, and I'll just follow along like a good old dog.
Okay.
But no, there's a lot of shit going on in our country, and
A lot of shit going on.
unfortunately, we just don't seem to have the strength, have the balls, I guess, to stand up to what is wrong. I mean, God, Trump, he was on Greg Gutfield's show.
Yep.
And he was talking about the assassination attempts and laughing about it and so forth. And
I only saw about 15 minutes of it before we went live. I have to go back and watch the end of it because if he looked like he was having such a good time doing it.
he was having a good time.
I have to go back and watch the rest of it.
And it seemed all the people on the show are very supportive of Trump, and the audience, gave him very warm welcome with applause and cheers and shouts and stuff. So
I don't know if they knew he was going to be there.
Yeah. Did you see about Iran spying on Trump's campaigns and providing information to Biden and Kamala? And now the FBI is doing an investigation of it to see what's going on. Did you see that?
I read briefly this morning. I didn't pay much. I should have paid more attention to it than I should have, but I had about 8 billion things going on the desk here this morning.
The sad thing is, it used to be back in the day where you could, trust the FBI to do a criminal investigation, and may I ask what the person is that Randy was on today?
What the person is that Randy was on today? Randy and Jen Woodruff. Randy and Jen Woodruff do a show called Straight Talk with Randy and Jen, or Jen and Randy.
Jen and Randy.
depending on who wins the coin flip. But yeah, straight talk with Jen and Randy.
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 Eastern. Like I was saying, me personally, I would not trust anyone. I don't care if it's the guy on the street or the person sitting in the office writing out the big checks. I wouldn't trust any FBI agents right now under the current administration to do anything truthfully. Because you have to keep in mind, Trump keeps saying that he trusts and believes in the boots on the ground FBI agents, but they have to keep their job. So if someone comes up to them and says, "You look the other way, why do this?" or "You're going to do this, why do that?" To keep your job, they're going to keep their job. So they're right now until they clean house from of all the executives and the frontline officers in charge. I would never trust the FBI, and that's pretty sad because the FBI is just not in the United States; it's across the world. Because they have to be there to respond quickly in case an American is involved in some kind of criminal case. So they can be there to protect.
Like Kamala Harris enslaving the Iranian government to be involved in spying on Trump. Which is so damn illegal that you would think right then and there when that story broke, if Chris Wray, the FBI director, holds to being the FBI director and comes clean with what he has to prove this, that she's out of the election.
But what I don't understand is what is there to spy on his rallies? Just turn on TV set.
Spying on the rallies is nothing. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're
Trump, I think, even hinted around that he's well aware that her people come to his rallies, and maybe even joked about his people going to her rallies. I don't know why, because I don't know why, but I'm sure they both have that. They have people going to their rallies. But I thought you meant that like the Iranian government was watching Trump do things that he's not supposed to do and give that information to Kamala, and that's kind of election interference the way I see it.
Okay, so Iran is alleged to have done the following. They are accused of hacking the Trump campaign and attempting to spread internal communications they pilfered. They also sought access to a Democratic presidential campaign, but there's no indication those efforts were successful.
So wait a minute. She talked to them about spying on Trump. In the meantime, they turned around and they spied on the Democrat Party at the same time.
Well, you can't trust your friends.
Dumb beach, for lack of putting it better.
You just can't trust your friends.
There's ladies present. Yeah, so you get this other country to spy on your opponent and feed you information, while at the same time they're spying on you, and who knows what they're doing with that information.
Wouldn't that be equivalent to what Nixon did and his people?
Yeah, they broke, Watergate.
Okay, so then I see a criminal charges to be coming across the table for someone.
Well, I would imagine that the charges would first hit Kamala, then she's going to say, "Well, I didn't do it. Joe Blow's my technology director. He should have made sure that this didn't happen."
He should have made sure that was in the clear. That's what he should have done.
So is she wanting to get booted out of the election?
I don't know what the
White House occupants spied on Trump before. That's true. We've heard about that there were White House occupants who I'm assuming are Biden administration operatives who were spying on Trump. Yes, we've heard that one before, Mama D. That, so as far as I know, that is correct. And from what I understand, those people, I don't know if that investigation is done, but from what I understand, those people are going to get nailed. But
What is this?
and Kamala's got to be careful with people that work for her at the White House anyway, because most of the people that went to work for her are gone. Most people said that she's very hard to work with. She's almost like having a Fidel Castro dictator. She's not polite to them. It's like she's the queen or something. But I do not know.
So yeah.
What else?
I just hope for one or two things: either God's return home, or the alien nation finally lands their mothership, and they start doing what they have to do to clean this mess up. They're more and more, unless it's just because of what I researched. My news feed has inundated with all these alien videos between civilian, military, and government videos of alien aircraft, and they are from legitimate sources. So, hey, David Novar, you follow me, dude? You saw me this morning. I think I got a troho.
He's a stalker.
He's a stalker.
He's a stalker.
What the heck? Did you white male? Oh, really? That's nuts. I just, our country is so messed up, and I don't know if I mean, when you look at the Western nations, I'm talking England, Australia, the United States, Canada, and so forth. We all at one point all wanted the same thing, and that was freedom and peace and a good way of life. And it seems since we opened up our doors to the Muslim population, all these nations, their governments are being torn apart. And I hate to say it, it's the Muslims finally getting their payback from when the Christian Crusades, did what they did to them, and they're finally getting payback. Let's face it, they're doing to us like we did to them. And I hate that. It's. I never thought I would see this day, but I'm old, I'm decrepit, and it's time to go home.
Time to go. Wait a minute. Which home?
Any home will take me.
Lancaster County, the old
the old nursing home.
Broadcaster's home.
Let's see. Donald Trump has Senator bomb scare 3 days after the assassination triggered by what's this?
I couldn't move down there unless the Amish Mafia would be taking care of me.
The Amish
probably couldn't afford them.
Now they're talking about bomb threats.
Where?
With against Trump.
Good evening, Barbara. We kind of had a loose format tonight. We've had some gaps with Restream, our new live stream that we just kind of had to work with. We had Michael Anthony on in the beginning. We lost him twice. We got him back. The third time, I guess we did not get him back. So you might want to watch the beginning.
You know what I would love to have, and I never will, but this is my dream. When I do my clients' family research, when I come across someone who participated in the Civil War or war between North and South, or the War of Independence, whichever way you want to use it, depends on which side you're fighting for. But again, all my clients right now, except for the one, are Southern people. So when I find more of their ancestors fall for South, I look up the regiment that they fought in, and then I go, the 33rd Mounted Infantry CSA toys, right?
Yep.
And I find all these really neat toys that reflect those particular regiments or whatever. And I use those toys images as a way to show to that person, hey, I just found another Confederate soldier, boom, 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 and I use the toys. But they're neat toys. I mean, if I had a couple $100 to buy these toys and then set up a room and just have this big playroom.
Could you imagine Randy Rhodes is going to stage with his toy soldiers the battle of gonna have to talk to David Novara and get the cameras and the tracks and everything built into the studio to automate.
But I did that as a kid. I had my green army men, and they were all green. There was no what's the word I'm looking for? Anyways,
no Confederacy.
It was World
Confederacy and General Rhodes troops.
No. It was all World War II stuff, but there's no fancy paint work. It was all green, right? All the men were green. The tanks are green. Everything was green. Now the Germans, they were a camel color. No, the Germans were a camel color. But I was, as a kid, I would lay on the floor and I had my tanks up and I had my men all set up, and then I had these toy wooden bricks like you'd use to make stuff with, and I would use them as bombs, and I would bomb the shit out of my toys.
At your age, you're supposed to have grandchildren that you do that with.
Yeah, even now I wouldn't mind doing it again. It's just to bring back some childhood, but I'd probably get down on the floor and play with my toys and won't be able to get back up. And that's where I'm right now. I got, I'm finding at my age that different foods are triggering my gout. So my daughter thought she was being real nice and she bought a pound of bacon the other day. All right. So I fried off some bacon. I had 5 strips. The next day I got gout on my one leg. And the pain is just, no, not wooden leg, my one leg.
Oh, it sounded like you said wooden leg.
If I had a wooden leg, it'd be termites. No, but so I have gout really bad, my one leg, and it hurts like a son of a gun. And it's hard going from a sitting to a standing position. So here I am, I saw you're live and I'll go live. And the reason why it took so long, Dave, and this is how much I like being on your show, Dave, is I had to get down on the floor, crawl across. It's no lie. Ask my wife, my daughter. And I had to scooch down onto the floor, crawl across the floor to the kitchen, use the dining room table to prop myself up to get up into a standing position, in excruciating pain, I might add, to go upstairs to turn on my computer to see your handsome face glowing in the light. And that's the truth. Oh, there's blood all over the window screen, all over the video screen.
If anyone can lay it on thick, it's Randy Rhodes. And
hey, I am good for that. Yes,
you are good for that. You are good for that.
I'm quite the narrator.
Unfortunately, like I said, I have to get a hold of Restream in the morning because for some strange reason, when I go live, I can't see it as a post on my profile right away. Under my profile picture, it says live. If I tap that, then I can see it. Then about 30 minutes into the broadcast, it all of a sudden shows up on a post like it's supposed to. So I have to talk to them and try to figure out what's going on with that. But anyway.
Hey, Jane, thanks for your comment. What in the hell is it with the North and South Korea floating balloons of shit and trash across the border to each other?
I don't know. But Jane O'Malley's a great person. Jane watches in the morning, the 10 a.m.s if she is home and can watch them. And if she can't, then she watches them as a podcast when she can. Tuesday, Thursday night. I look forward to having her in the live chat. She's a lot of fun. Barbara Ammons, it's always a pleasure to have you here. And David Novar, we wouldn't have someone to pick on if you weren't here.
That's true. That's true.
Mama D. All I can say is, Denise, I can't say that last name. I'll butcher it if I try to say it, so we're just going to call you Mama D. That's what I met you as anyway. William Rayfield introduced you to me as Mama D, so we're going to call you Mama D. William Grant was here. And hey, William Grant was here on Facebook watching today, but Billy Grant was actually the first person to be on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, and he was on YouTube when he saw that I was on.
Did you see my video on Facebook about Kenneth Copeland?
Oh, God. You mean...
The minister.
Yeah, bought Tyler Perry's plane because it was such a good deal because Tyler's a good guy. He had to buy that plane.
Whoever originally shared it has a caption as demon possessed. And I watched the video, and I hate to say I watched it 3 times because I couldn't believe it the first 2 times. I want to tell you what, he looked demon possessed. I mean,
is it the one where he's in his little carport over where he keeps his jets?
No.
A reporter from Inside Edition or something like that caught him there.
No.
She said something to him, and he's like, "Don't you dare say that."
No, I haven't seen that, but these are all those snippets from his church sermons. I'm going to tell you what, the way his face distorted, the way his eyes lit up, I was seeing demons myself, and I don't know that is looks up foods to deter and remove. Yeah, I know. My daughter has this whole damn list of things I can't eat anymore, and I was like, damn, what am I supposed to do? Eat all vegetarian? She said, yeah, Dad. So okay, I love my meat.
Be nice, because we have the best people watching. They're always.
I love my meat.
If you need this is what you should do. So
I know.
So take Barbara's advice. Look up foods.
You're not supposed to drink. You're not supposed to drink. Too much iced tea, too much sugar, different vegetables, red meat. Not gonna add bacon to it. The list just goes on and on and on. And luckily, I can get medicine for it, and the medicine kicks out in like 2 days. But it's a mess. Getting old sucks. But at least I'm getting old. It beats the alternative. You know what I mean?
Old, getting old.
Yeah. I had to laugh. I had to laugh when Jerry said that
you are old.
Yeah.
You are old. I mean, I'm just a baby.
I had to laugh. I had to laugh when Jerry said that you're the oldest person he knows. And he said, "No, I'm the oldest person he knows."
I'm older than Jerry. I believe I'm older than Michael, but every time Michael gets asked to give his age, sometimes he's younger than me, sometimes he's older than me, so I don't really know for sure. But I'm only 62. Randy's 123. Randy's 124.
No, not quite that old. I'm 65.
You're not old, Mama D. You are not old. You're not old. Right. As I used to say, you're as old as you feel or as young as you look. And I got in trouble when I said that, because when I started saying that, the people that work for me would say, you look like you're pretty damn old.
When you think about it, with the Putin being at war with Ukraine, they really can't take on a war against the United States, because all the shit that they've lost in battle so far, like all the naval ships and the tanks and the jet fighters, they ain't got a lot left to fight us with, you know.
He's not. He's got to get all that stuff here. I mean, first, what he's going to do, if anything, he's going to scramble up his fighters and try to get into U.S. airspace and take out major points first. Taking out Alaska is not really going to hurt, not going to help him in any particular way. He's got to get past Alaska once he's here.
Let's get past that.
Well, I mean, he once he's in Alaska, it's okay. He's not just going to stop at Alaska if that's what he wants to do. I personally think he's just doing things to bug the Biden administration until the end of the term, knowing that Biden isn't running again. And these days, I can't really seem to figure out who he would rather have win. Because one day it seems like he's all for Kamala winning, and the next day he's like all for Trump winning.
Are you ready for the next string of storms headed your way?
No.
Yeah.
Although I understand they're being generated because Kamala's husband was down here for some kind of a meeting or a fundraiser here in Florida, and more people showed up than they expected. So now the belief among her campaign staff is that they could take Florida away from Trump, and they need to take Florida away from Trump because Florida has 30 delegates.
I decided to send you an image of the map of the storms headed your way.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last time I paid any serious attention to it was a month or so ago, and they were saying that there were four, I think, tropical storms because they hadn't said that they would be hurricanes yet. They were just lined up waiting to come in one by one. And the weird thing about rain in Florida after 3 years, I'll still tell you the same thing, is that Florida's weird. They will say it's going to pour all day. It's going to be the worst rain we've ever seen. All of a sudden, it'll cloud up. You got to pull over because your windshield wipers just don't work. You can't see. So you got to pull over, wait for it to pass. 15 minutes, it's done. The sun's out. It's dried up. It's 90 degrees again, and it doesn't even look like it rained. So I don't really know. I don't know. But
yes, well, it is what, 8:37. I need to get going here.
7, you have to go because tomorrow's Friday and you have something you got to do. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we have Red Friday Morning Caffeine with Bill Buckler and I. Everybody's more than welcome to come in and listen to Bill's commentary and go from there. And Saturday morning at 10 a.m. if you're up, we're going to do a serious boogie with the Bull. We're all going to have stuff ready. All going to have real stuff ready to go and talk about, and not just.
What time did you say?
10 o'clock.
Well, what day?
Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday.
That gives me enough time to leave the country. Okay.
Take your camera with. Take an iPhone with you or an iPad with you so that you.
Oh yeah. So you can track me, right?
You don't have to. If you're up and awake on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., please come join me. If you're not, then maybe David will, or maybe Mama D will. Mama D's been on before. When Winfield was on, Mama D was on one day. So
I'm just looking at all this as like all these. There's not one good piece of news on these two monitors. It's all about war and more war. There's nothing really worth being excited about.
War's exciting, I guess.
Yeah, just get it over with. Drop a nuke and then get it over with. Come on,
Drop a nuke and get it over with.
Well, that's what they used to say back in. I won't go into it. That'll cause too many problems. But yeah, anyways, okay. Okay. Anyway, I gotta get going. I get some things to do before I fall asleep.
Randy Rhodes is going to get ready, and this time I'm going to pop his parachute. Good night, Randy. All right, Randy Rhodes. All roads lead to home genealogy. You know him well. Go talk to him if you're looking for genealogy services. Randy can help you out. Ask him a question or hire him, and he will do it for you. My brain has kind of gone to mush today. I'm kind of perplexed and trying to figure out this problem. Like I said, I'm going to have to talk to Restream after the broadcast and try to figure out. There seems to be some delay with me getting it on my profile, so that when we go live, I go to my profile so that I can see the live chat on a separate monitor, and I have to tap my profile picture, and then I get to where I can see it, and then about 15-20 minutes later it shows up on a post like it should. And on this one it says 155 people are watching, and on this one, give me a second, because these two, they're both Androids, but they don't necessarily agree on exactly how many people. Yeah, this one says 120, and this one says 155. So we'll believe that somewhere between 120 and 155 people are actually watching. They saw the hiccups, and I hope that didn't bother you too badly. We did get a little loose. I want to thank Michael Anthony for stopping by, Randy Rhodes for stopping by, and it is a work in progress. We're trying to get a little bit better, but we still hiccup along the way. We're still trying to get comfortable with using Restream, which we think is the best. If you are looking for live stream software right now, I suggest Restream, because for $19 a month, you get 720p. I don't know what you get. You get just under true full HD for $19 a month. You get three destinations, 10 cameras, and the same host of features that you got in the StreamYard $25 package, but now it's $45 because they added a few things that Restream gives you for $19 a month anyway. So look around at Restream. If you go to Restream.io, you can download a 2-month package, a 2-month free trial of the $19 a month package. You are only allowed one camera, I believe. One person can be on, and you can be on two destinations. But it gives you an idea of what it worked, of how well it works. In the near future, if we settle with a Windows 11 laptop, we will probably look at OBS and go that route, only because I know a lot of broadcasters that use OBS, and they're all very happy with it. And we will do that. If we stick with a Chromebook, then we'll probably I'm sure we will stay with Restream and keep going the route that we are at. I'm very happy with them. Like I said, it's just we've had a couple of hiccups all of a sudden where someone will be on and then all of a sudden they're gone. On my wife's Chromebook, that's what I'm on right now. The screen seems a little grainy. I don't know if anybody watching would tell me, but I think the screen looks a little grainy, like it's catching some interference from something, and I haven't figured that out yet. But that's only on my wife's Chromebook. On my Chromebook, my old Chromebook, I don't see any of that. But we'll get it all figured out, and we'll make it work nice, I promise, and everybody will be happy, and we'll get everybody in on the broadcasts. Yep, I see it, Denise. I do. On my wife's Chromebook, I see it. On mine, I don't see it so much. I use my wife's when I think we're going to have more than two guests on because my Chromebook is old and not supported any longer, and it belches. And when it belches, then we kind of freeze and or get disconnected, and it wasn't worth doing that. I'm not sure exactly which way we're going to go. I have a new Chromebook picked out, 15.6-inch screen Acer. But I'm going to try to see if we can do how close we can get within my budget to a Windows laptop and go from there. But anyway, nobody cares about any of that stuff. So Mama D, have a great evening. David Novar, you have a wonderful evening. Let's see. Barbara Ammons, always a pleasure that you drop in. Jane O'Malley, always a pleasure that you drop in. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I missed anybody. But I promise that come Saturday, and by Saturday we'll be a team of professionals, and we'll be back and looking like we should and being ready to go. Now, I'm looking at my studio monitor here on Restream, and this is rather, like I said, rather grainy. You can see it. It's like it's picking up some kind of interference, and my light is a little bit too bright on it. I'm looking at it on my Android tablet, like I said, which I use to read the Facebook, my profile live chat. And I don't see that as much. But anyway, we'll get it all figured out, I promise. Jane O'Malley, thank you. Mama D, thank you. Anybody is welcome to be on the broadcasts at any time. You do not have to be a broadcaster, okay? If you just want to come on and have some fun with me and whoever else is on, come on and have some fun with us. Monday and Wednesday, usually it's Randy Rhodes and I, 10 a.m. Eastern, Dave Woven Profile, Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Tuesday and Thursday, it is me and anybody that wants to join me. And Rare Saturday morning is the same thing. Anybody that wants to join me, just let me know. Barbara, you're more than welcome to come join me at any time. Jane O'Malley, if you're around in the morning, you're more than welcome to come and join me. Mama D, please come join me. Craig Peterson, we talked a while ago about having you and your mother on, and we never got around to that broadcast either. So give me just a second here. Everything's kind of going there. So yeah. Anyway, it's 8:47. It's time for me to shut all this down, bring my wife back into the bedroom because it's time for us all to go to bed here. So you've been watching Boogie with the Bull Thursday Night Live, copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company, who apologizes for any of the technical errors that we had tonight. And I promise that we will do our best to make sure that we don't have any of them on Saturday. Double Base for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast.